Did you know that businesses lose approximately $359 billion per year due to dysfunctional teams? A staggering statistic, isn't it? Now you might be wondering, why such a colossal figure? It's simple, really. When teams are dysfunctional, they struggle to collaborate effectively. And when collaboration suffers, so does productivity. The ripple effect of this can be felt throughout the organization, impacting everything from sales to customer satisfaction. And let's not forget the morale of the employees themselves. A dysfunctional team creates an unhealthy work environment, leading to increased turnover and recruitment costs. But let's not just dwell on the negative. The flip side of this is that a well-functioning team can be a game changer. When a team works in harmony, the results can be phenomenal. Increased productivity, improved customer satisfaction, heightened employee morale, and yes, a healthier bottom line. This brings us to the crux of our discussion today, the 5 dysfunctions of a team. This concept, first introduced by Patrick Lencioni, is a model that highlights the pitfalls teams must avoid to be successful. It's a roadmap, if you will, guiding teams towards efficiency and effectiveness. These dysfunctions cover a broad spectrum, from trust issues to the fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and inattention to results. Each of these dysfunctions, if left unaddressed, can cause significant damage. However, the good news is that they can be rectified, and that's what we're here for. Over the course of this video, we'll break down each dysfunction, discuss its impact, and most importantly, provide you with strategies to overcome them. Because remember, the cost of dysfunction is high, but the rewards of a well-functioning team, they're priceless. So are you ready to transform your team from dysfunctional to dynamic, from struggling to successful, from mediocre to magnificent? Good, because it's time to challenge the status quo, shake things up, and redefine what teamwork means for your organization. Now let's delve into these dysfunctions and how to address them. The first dysfunction is an absence of trust. Picture this, a leading tech firm, let's call them Tech Titan. They were once the pioneers of innovation. But as the years went by, a pattern emerged. Team members started hoarding information, doubting each other's abilities, and second-guessing intentions. The result? A lack of trust that sowed seeds of dysfunction, disrupting their once smooth operations. Now let's dive deeper into the situation. The R&D department, the heart of Tech Titan, was hit the hardest. Projects were delayed, collaborations were strained, and the creative spark that once defined them was dimming. In the absence of trust, individual brilliance was overshadowed by collective skepticism. Recognizing the problem, Tech Titan then took a bold step. They introduced a culture of transparency and open communication. They encouraged employees to share their thoughts without fear of judgment, to question without fear of reprisal, and most importantly, to trust without fear of betrayal. Weekly team-building exercises and open forums were held to foster a sense of camaraderie, breaking down the walls of distrust. And the outcome? The transformation was impressive. Productivity soared, project deadlines were met, and most importantly, the team was back on track, innovating and pushing boundaries. The atmosphere was once again charged with the positive energy of trust. So, here's the takeaway. Trust is not just a word, it's the foundation upon which successful teams are built. It's the glue that binds individuals into a cohesive unit, working towards a common goal. Trust is fundamental. Without it, a team can crumble. Scene script. Next up is the fear of conflict. Let's imagine a high-tech startup. We'll call it Innovate Inc. This company was filled with brilliant minds, but they were stuck in a state of constant agreeability. Everyone was afraid to rock the boat, to challenge ideas, no matter how questionable they seemed. The fear of conflict was palpable. And the result? Stagnation, lack of progress. A company filled with potential, yet going nowhere. Then, a shift occurred. The leadership team recognized this dysfunction. They realized that conflict, when approached constructively, is not a roadblock, but rather a catalyst for innovation. So, they encouraged their team to voice their opinions, to challenge the status quo, to engage in healthy debates. They fostered an environment where conflict was not feared, but embraced as a necessary part of growth. And what happened next? The company thrived. Decisions were made faster, ideas were challenged and improved upon, and the company began to innovate at a pace they never thought possible. The fear of conflict was replaced with a culture of open dialogue and respect for differing opinions. Now here's the lesson. Fear of conflict can stifle growth and innovation. But when we shift our perspective, when we see conflict not as a threat, but as an opportunity, we can drive our teams, our companies, and even ourselves towards greater success and fulfillment. Remember, conflict isn't always negative, it's an opportunity for growth. The third dysfunction is a lack of commitment. Picture this: a team of talented individuals, each with unique skills and experiences, but despite their potential, they're not making the progress they should. Why? Because they lack commitment. Let's consider the case of the Silicon Valley startup, Innovate Now. This team had all the makings of success: brilliant minds, a groundbreaking product, and ample funding. But they were falling behind their competitors. The issue? Their team members were not fully committed. They were showing up but not stepping up. Their hearts weren't in the project. They were working but not working together. The lack of commitment was a silent saboteur hindering their success. So how did they turn things around? They fostered commitment and dedication. They began by clearly outlining their shared goals, ensuring everyone knew what they were working towards. They also made sure everyone understood their roles and how they contributed to the larger picture. Each team member was encouraged to voice their thoughts and ideas, creating a sense of ownership and involvement. But commitment didn't stop at the office door. They started to celebrate their successes and learn from their failures as a team. They invested in team-building activities, fostering a sense of camaraderie and shared responsibility. Slowly but surely, Innovate Now transformed from a group of individuals into a cohesive, committed team. Their performance skyrocketed and they began to outpace their competitors. The lesson here? Commitment is the glue that holds a team together. Without it, even the most talented teams can falter, but with it, there's no limit to what a team can achieve. The fourth dysfunction is avoidance of accountability. Now picture this: you're part of a team that's been underperforming for months. The goals set at the beginning of the year seem to be miles away and the team's morale is sinking. Why? Because no one is holding anyone accountable. Let's consider a real-world case to illustrate this. Think about a sales team in a mid-sized company. For a long time, they were missing their targets. The reason? No one was accountable for the overall results. They were working as individuals, not as a team. One day, the team leader decided to change the game. He started to hold everyone accountable for their actions. He made it clear that each person's contribution was crucial for the team's success and that everyone would be held responsible for their performance. What happened next was nothing short of a transformation. The team started hitting their targets. They were more engaged, more driven, and more committed to their roles. They knew they were accountable for their actions and that their performance mattered to the team's success. This transformation didn't happen overnight and it wasn't easy. It required a shift in mindset, a willingness to hold each other accountable, and a commitment to team success above individual achievement. But the result? A high-performing team that knew their contributions mattered, a team that was accountable. Accountability is essential for a team's success. The final dysfunction is inattention to results. Picture this: a team of brilliant minds, each with their own unique talents and skills, collaborating on a project. They're all working hard, brainstorming, generating ideas, putting in the hours. But despite their efforts, the project isn't moving forward. Why? Because they're not paying attention to the results. They're so caught up in the process, in their individual roles and tasks, that they've lost sight of the bigger picture. This was the case for a software development team in a renowned tech company. They were creating an innovative application, but they got so engrossed in perfecting the design and functionality that they overlooked the user feedback. The app wasn't meeting the needs of their target audience. The result? A beautifully designed, technically advanced application that nobody wanted to use. Once they started focusing on the results, the user feedback, the download numbers, the app usage data, they were able to pivot. They redesigned the app based on the feedback, simplified its functionality, and prioritized user experience. The success was staggering. Downloads skyrocketed. User reviews were overwhelmingly positive and the team was back on track. Inattention to results is a silent team killer. It's easy to get lost in the details, in the process, but we must always keep our eyes on the prize. We must always ask ourselves, are we achieving what we set out to do? Results matter. They're the benchmark of success. Overcoming these dysfunctions is no small feat, but it's necessary for success. The journey to a well-functioning team starts with recognizing and addressing each dysfunction head-on. This isn't just about creating a harmonious work environment, it's about fostering a culture of trust, commitment, accountability, and results-oriented thinking. It's about pushing your team, your company, to reach its full potential. So don't wait for tomorrow. Start today, build a stronger team, and pave the way for your company's success.